Welcome, wrestling fans. You got the show here, Big Slam Wrestling. I'm here to talk about TNA's Impact Thursday night, last night. An episode I was looking forward to as big things were coming on the horizon with the debut of the menagerie, the continuing growth of the new Tom Latimer's character Brahm with Magnus, the ongoing escapades of EY, my man Bobby Roode, and that's what the title of this episode should be: Got Screwed. Because not only did Bobby Roode get screwed, but as a fan of TNA wrestling, I feel I got screwed. How did I get screwed? I got screwed with an Impact that, you know what, bottom line, I've been a supporter of TNA wrestling since the first episode I ever saw. I was hooked, and I've remained with them up, down, and all around. The time has come for these pre-taped episodes in the Impact Zone to be done, finished, fini, over, kaput, done. Why? Because you get stuck with the bullshit that I had to sit through watching Impact this week, which was a 2-hour wrestling program that had barely any wrestling in it. It was chock full of segment after segment after segment after promo after promo. And other than the ladder match between the Wolves and the Bromance, in all reality, that was the highlight of the show, wrestling-wise. Yeah, there was the Menagerie show. Okay, I guess Kaz's contract is up, so they're going to treat him like a jobber, which pisses me off because Kazarian deserves much more than that, than to get treated like some enhancement product to put over Nux when this guy has been a multiple X Division champion, multiple tag team champion, and a main eventer in this company for years. And that pisses me off. And I blame that on Big John. I blame that on Lagana. I blame that on Dixie. I blame it on Al Snow. I blame it on Jimmy Barash, Christy Hemme, and everybody else in TNA wrestling that's allowing a scripted program like this to even make it on the air. Yeah, I am pissed. I am beyond pissed. I'm super pissed. You know why I'm pissed? Because right now, pro wrestling in the United States of America, here in the West, is the drizzling shits right now. Whether it's ROH, whether it's WWE, or whether it's Impact TNA Wrestling. TNA is up, TNA is down, WWE, same thing. Ring of Honor, you're pretty much on a level basis. You don't really improve too much. You don't go down, but you don't do enough to impress. You got your little super show coming up, your super card with Japan, which will give you a little bump for about a month or so, and you'll be right back where you were. TNA, this is the time for you to get off your ass. That's right, get off your ass and start putting on a product that blows us out of our socks. You're getting ready to invade New York City, the hotbed in enemy territory of not only the WWE, but of Ring of Honor and of all the East Coast independent promotions. And if you roll into New York City with garbage like you put on last night, you might as well forget it. Wrap it up, close it down, and walk away. To have been putting on top-notch programming that you've been doing since Bound for Glory reboot, all the way up through EY winning the belt, and all the great matches you've had and been putting on, and to let last night's episode air was goddamn well embarrassing as a TNA fan. That was embarrassing. Where was Tigre Uno? Where was Sonata? Where was Gunner? Where was James Storm? Where was Austin Aries? Where was anybody from the goddamn X Division? Nowhere. But a short little vignette with Gunner talking with Mr. Anderson, who also was not in the ring. You had a knockouts, Divas style WWE match. Really? We're going Divas style for the knockouts? That pisses me off even more. It's time you sign some upcoming talent to this roster, or you are going to lose this promotion. Bottom line, money's tight. You're cutting the old guys out. Kurt Angle now has his ACL tear, which anybody who suffered a similar injury as I have, anybody else in the sports industry or who've had any kind of knee injuries knows that an ACL injury is at least a 3-month recovery. That tells me that Kurt Angle is not returning to the ring in TNA Wrestling. He's going to sit his contract out and he's going to the WWE when it's all said and done. Is he going to go to G-Force with Jeff Jarrett? No, because the big money is in WWE. He can get his final WrestleMania moment. He can get his triple set DVD. He can get his big merchandise, and he can get inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. Because he's being treated like garbage here in TNA. You got outstanding young talent, and you need to push it. Not just as a comedy bit. I'm talking about Ethan Carter. You're doing a fantastic job with him, but it needs to be more. The ruthlessness that he showed last night with Angle was A+. I'll give you that. You need to push Carter. Carter needs to have gold around his waist. You got an entire roster and nobody was there last night. Where was the TNA roster? If you do not push the X Division, and I'm talking about one and all, I'm talking TJ Perkins, Manic, John Gabrick, you've been promising us TJ coming back on TV for months, and you've been pissing down our backs telling us it's raining. King of the Night, where's he at? Not on TV again. I can't even get the DJZ to be in for an X Division's match. You haven't signed any other knockouts besides Brittany. Why? Tag team wrestling X Division knockouts. That's what put TNA on the map. That's the only things that are going to put TNA back on top. Do I sound pissed off? You're goddamn right I'm pissed off because you guys are blowing it. You are blowing it. You got tag teams out there right now who are chomping at the bit to get signed by TNA. I'm talking about Lance Hoyt, Davey Boy Jr., aka Harry Smith, and the Killer Elite Squad. One of the greatest tag teams in Japan today, and on the independent scene as NWA Tag Team Champions, IWGP Tag Team Champions. Why aren't they signed? Sign them. They're there. They want to work for you. They'll give you ratings. They'll put asses in seats, and they're going to kick ass on TV. You want a feud? There's your feud. The Wolves against KES. Are you afraid to hire the big boys from Japan? I don't think so. Are you too cheap to hire the talent? Maybe that's the problem. Maybe Dixie Carter should have stepped the hell aside and let Toby Keith buy out TNA. Maybe mommy and daddy should have realized that their baby girl isn't doing the job. And I know I'm pissing off a lot of my fan base here, my TNA compadres, but you know what? The shit I had to watch on Impact this week made me sick. I expect bullshit like that from Raw and SmackDown. I don't expect it from Impact Wrestling. I don't expect it from TNA, not when they've been on a roll showing the greatness that was coming, the change. And then what do you do on top of all that? You turn MVP heel and you have him set up a match for the title against EY. You're already catching heat for copying WWE. So now you're going to make MVP turn into Triple H and go after the title. MVP was supposed to be the savior of the company, to do great things for the company, to get rid of Dixie Carter. Now, is he getting rid of Dixie Carter? Or are you going to make Dixie Carter a face now who's going to be back on our television screens every single week, but now as a baby face? Please, God, no. Dixie's got to go and be gone from TV. This crap with Bully and Dixie, end it. I want Bully fighting Bobby Roode. We want this feud. We want wrestling. We don't want an hour and a half soap opera with 30 minutes worth of matches. I speak for all the fans of TNA Wrestling. Without a doubt, we want in-ring action, the likes that no other promotion in the United States is able to provide, because the roster in TNA I'll put up against any roster in the country. But you're letting us down. You're letting us down. The only bright light I'm hoping to see with his MVP turn is that perhaps it's what it originally was, and it's going to be the Japanese invasion and takeover of TNA. That Muda is actually going to wind up being the new owner of TNA, with MVP as his champion, Sonata as the X Division champion, and their hired gun, the Wolves, as the tag team champions. And all they're going to need is a knockouts champion. And there's all kinds of ladies from Japan, or you can bring in the alpha female, or anybody else that could fill in that void for that Wrestle One invasion. But I don't think TNA, I don't think you got that on the brain. I think you're running on fumes. I think you're on autopilot right now. And it's time that somebody wakes you up. The revolution is now. I'm asking each and every one of you out there who are true TNA fans to get on your social media and bombast and lay it on the line to Big John and to Lagana, Christy Hemme, TNA, Dixie Carter, and Al Snow, and Barash, and anybody else involved. You know, MVP, you like to talk on Twitter? Brother, we're going to talk on Twitter. This shit ends now. This was an embarrassment as a TNA fan. This is the show. This is Big Slam Wrestling. That's all I got to say for this week. I'll see you down the road. And when we get to that point down the road, I hope to God it's not trash like I had to sit through this week.